You know what else is insidious? Charging a parent $900,000 to find out what's going on in the schools. Yes, you heard me correctly. This is a letter in response to a FOIA request of a group that was trying to figure out what was being taught in the schools. And this letter is going to try to charge someone $900,000 to get them to answer their FOIA request. Now, many of you remember my friend Nicole Solis. Nicole is this mom in Rhode Island that it started off with her just doing FOIA requests, public information requests to find out what was being taught in her daughter's school. And the NEA ended up suing her. The school ended up suing her. She is a spitfire. She is a warrior. She's jumped into this fight. But she tweeted about this. And responding to Wen Young Woo here, who also does some amazing work, executive director at Californians for Equal Rights Foundation. She's doing amazing work as well. They've got a great group on Facebook. She runs one of the biggest anti-CRT groups on Facebook. But check this out. Check this out. Dear attorney, I represent Independent School District number 535, Rochester Public Schools. On September 20th, 2021, you submitted a 41-page data practices request to the district's interim superintendent, Dr. Kent Pichtel. The purpose of this letter is to provide you the estimated costs of responding to your data practices requests. The Minnesota Government Data Protections Act allows government entities to require any person who requests government data to pay the actual costs of searching for, retrieving, and making copies of the data, including the cost of employee time. Additionally, it allows the government entities to require prepayment. Get ready, here we go. The district has completed an extensive analysis of your 41-page, 332-paragraph data practices requests. The district estimates it will take 13,478 hours to search for, retrieve, and make copies of the data, using the employee with the lowest wage rate who would have the right to search for and retrieve the data that has been requested and applying the actual cost of making copies. The district estimates the actual cost of searching for, retrieving, and making copies is $901,000, $121.15. At your request, I would be happy to share a spreadsheet breaking down the costs. $900,000 they want to charge for parents to get access to what is going on in the taxpayer-funded government schools. In the state of New Hampshire, we are going to be having an educational transparency bill come up this legislative session. That bill would require teachers to put materials online so that parents can see what's being taught. This is not the first state this has been brought up in. It was brought up in North Carolina last year. I don't think it passed. I know that Chris Rufo is starting to do work on this. So, educational transparency is going to be key to fighting this stuff moving forward. And I know we can talk about cameras in classrooms. Of course, Matt Walsh is the great and glorious leader of cameras in classrooms. He didn't steal my idea at all. It's not like I had vetted it publicly on the internet months before Matt Walsh went on Tucker Carlson spewing my talking points. I'm taking a little break from that because Matt Walsh is the grand and glorious leader of cameras in classrooms, but trust me when I tell you that I plan on revisiting it next year after it's clear that Matt Walsh is going to do absolutely nothing to make that a reality. But in the meantime, educational transparency is where it's at. We should be pushing for educational transparency bills. Reach out to your state representatives in your state. Ask them about educational transparency because this is the reason that educational transparency is so important. Because public schools, government schools that we all already pay for are trying to charge parents $900,000 $100,000 to find out what our taxes are actually funding. Just wrap your heads around that for a second. Fun times. George Andre Veloso Nunez says, "You needed the week to decompress. These news are very effed up. Either that or winter is coming both figuratively and literally." Dude, there was snow on the ground yesterday. There was. I don't mind though. I think snow's fine. Yeah, radical moderate. I am fully on board with cameras having sound. Yep. They were broadcasting what they were teaching on the internet all last year. They already have the equipment to do it. But as I've said, Matt Walsh is the grand and glorious leader of cameras in classrooms until April, when I take that shit back, after proving that he is a shill that isn't going to do a goddamn thing about it. But people need time to wrap their heads around that idea. So more to come on that. I promise. But we do need it more than ever because parents are getting arrested at school board meetings. This is fun. 2 Gwinnett County parents arrested. 1 allegedly bruised, slammed against wall at school board meeting. This is from the Tennessee Star. Law enforcement officers at Thursday's Gwinnett County Public School Board meeting arrested 2 mothers, one on the charge of criminal trespass and another on the charge of obstruction as part of the school's new security measures. Both mothers told the Georgia News on Friday that they did nothing wrong and that the school resource officers overreacted, to put it mildly. Karen Perkle said she displeased the school board members last month by speaking out against COVID-19 mask requirements. I'm sure Karen is a lovely woman. The last person I'm ever going to try to cross in my life is a woman named Karen Perkle. I'm sure she's a lovely woman. I am. She returned for this month's meeting, and they told her she was trespassing. Someone came up from behind me and jerked my arm up. Mind you, I'm a retired deputy sheriff. I know the routine. They were trying to handcuff me, but the handcuffs were in my palm, so they weren't getting in onto my wrist. And then I kept saying I was resisting, which I was not. Sounds very familiar to another case I'm going to tell you guys about in a second. Then I asked the officers if I could at least give all my stuff to my husband. They said yes. Brenda, the other lady, came running and said, "Can I take your phone and paperwork to your husband?" I said, "I really appreciate it. We had never met. This was our first night meeting." She took it, and somehow when she was going through the metal detector, they found a pair of kindergarten scissors in her bag because she would be crocheting during the meeting. Now, side note, if you're going to bring knitting or crocheting into a place, you don't need scissors, man. You can break yarn. Here, I'll show you. I have some right here. Hang on. Not that one. I have some right here. Listen, this is yarn. This is yarn. You don't need a scissor. You can just break it. Okay? So stop bringing scissors into places. You don't need them. It's an easy way to get into trouble. Pro tip. The other woman, Brenda Stewart, said she witnessed law enforcement officers being rough and hurting Perkle. I go up to 2 metal detectors. This is a security desk there. I sat my purse down and I said I would get her phone. Then they went through the metal detector and then I came back. I wasn't going to stay at the meeting. My plan had not been to stay very long anyway. The school resource officer had my pair of kindergarten scissors that were in my purse. She said, "You cannot take these in." I said, "Okay." I went to take them, but when I went to take them, she started pulling and she went nuts and ended up slamming me against the wall and putting handcuffs on me. Now, I'm not defending this behavior when I say that you don't need to bring scissors to knit or crochet. I'm just pointing out the fact that you don't need to bring scissors to knit or crochet. All right? That's all. Stewart said she has spoken out against critical race theory at previous meetings. Both women said the officials kept them handcuffed for at least an hour. Law enforcement officers later transported the woman to the county jail and processed them. GCPS spokesperson Sloan said said in an email via Friday that school officials had added safety measures to provide a safe and secure environment for everyone. While there were some parents who started opposition to address security measures, other parents and visitors expressed appreciation for the efforts of the school district is taking to provide a safe and orderly meeting. Yes, I am sure that all of those parents felt so much safer once the kindergarten scissors were confiscated and not available to be used as weapons. By the way, my knitting needles are way sharper than kindergarten scissors. Just saying. Perkle says she prayed for guidance before she tried to attend Thursday's meeting. Schools are in such dire situations security-wise that they have 2 medical detectors, but some school board members were scared for their lives from a heavy-set white female who won't wear a mask. Well, this next story I'm going to tell you, this story got a lot of attention, but I just want to show this is not an isolated incident. And I know this is not an isolated incident because a member of the Libertarian Party of New Hampshire, the chair of the party, Nolan Pelletier, actually got arrested for the exact same thing at a school board meeting in New Hampshire. This happened literally as my plane is taking off to go to London. The LPNH signal group starts firing up. I was like, Nolan got arrested. Nolan got arrested at a school board meeting for not wearing a mask. Here's what happened. So this guy, we're going to watch this video. He went to his kid's school board meeting. He sat in the the section where people are wearing masks, and he wasn't wearing a mask, right? So without wearing a mask, he sat in the masked section. The school board had him arrested. They had him arrested. Here's the video. I'm gonna put this in a different browser because I need to be able to play the sound. Hang on, stand by. We're gonna watch the video of Nolan getting arrested in real time. You guys can see. Oh, hang on. Hey God. Sorry, I should have had this set up before. You guys know how it goes. All right. That's not the button I want. Here it is. Screen share, Chrome tab. Here is the video of Nolan getting arrested for not wearing a mask in the mask section at the school board meeting.
I'm not disabled.
Okay.
I don't.
She's read off the guidelines to you, right? Okay, you understand that you can
Okay.
criminally trespass from this premise. Is that what you're asking to do?
I'm not. No, I'm asking to attend a meeting.
Okay, you can attend the meeting. They're just asking that you follow the guidelines. It's in the other section.
I'm not disabled though.
Okay. Well,
So I'm not
disabled. Follow the guidelines, right? Correct.
Are
Okay. So hang on. Would you like to have this person criminally trespassed?
I would like to have that
Okay.
person
All right, sir.
criminal trespass.
You have to leave this time.
okay. I'm not going to resist. But you can take me out of here.
Is what you want to do? What's that? Okay, sir. Please stand up.
I'm not going to resist.
Okay, sir.
I'm not going to stand up. You'll have to remove me from here. I'm not going to resist you. I'm not disabled.
So that's what happened there. He got arrested. Criminal trespass for not wearing a mask in the mask section at the school board meeting. Now, epilogue. There may be a bunch of us going to this school board meeting next week. There may be a bunch of us who will not be wearing masks in the mask section. We'll see how it goes. If you guys don't hear from me, you can just assume I got arrested at something. So we'll see how it goes. But the point is, guys, school boards are still behaving you guys know that I don't think that being on the school board actually makes that much of a difference. I don't. I think that being on the school board can be a hindrance more than it can actually help because you're not allowed to talk about things publicly. You don't even, unless you live in Vermont and Connecticut, you don't even have any say over the curriculum anyway. However, school boards are acting like crazy people when they're having people arrested for not wearing a mask in the mask section of the room, even if there's social distancing. So there will be retribution for this next week. It'll be fun. NBTTL1 says, you are doing the work others try to do. It's so common sense and something I can share. People listen. Thank you as always. Much love. I really, really appreciate that. Means the world to me. George Andre Velasco Nunez says, you're not called the most dangerous knitter for nothing. And you're right. It would have made more sense making the needles the issue. I'm just saying, man, you just got to play smart. I'm not saying give in to their crap. I'm just saying you got to play smart sometimes. That's it. That's all I got. Well, guys, we've got a couple more stories, but if you're enjoying this, please make sure you mount that like button. Please make sure you're subscribed on whatever channel you're watching on, whether that be YouTube or Odyssey or Rockfin or even Facebook. If you think you're subscribed on YouTube, just double check. Make sure you turn on notifications. You might actually be notified when I post new videos.